Whew. Okay, it's going. All right. I'm doing my video blog thing. Shut up. Anyway, so this is today's video blog, November 7th, the night of. And I didn't post one yesterday, but I recorded one, and I'm having to post these later, which is okay because I'm recording them for my own good. But I have to post them later because I don't have internet access that's fast enough to really upload these. How did today start? Woke up at 3:45 in the morning to move out of the Airbnb. Move Steve and I out of the Airbnb and go to Johannesburg. Our hosts were cool enough to hold our big bags for us. All we had to do was just bring a small bag to Johannesburg, each of us. And we got to the airport and we flew to Johannesburg, and off we went. We sat next to a cool lady sat in between us on the plane. Don't remember. I don't even remember her name. Tanya or something. I don't know. I was out like that the whole flight. 2 hours. I slept sitting up. I don't even know how that happened. Cape Town has been so windy, like a hurricane for 36 hours, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. It was driving me nuts. We get to Johannesburg and go get the car, and we went to Soweto Township. Soweto Township has been on the top of my list of places I wanted to visit. Because it's huge in apartheid history, and because of the Soweto uprising. It's huge because Nelson Mandela lived there, and Desmond Tutu. They lived down the street from each other. We got to see both of their houses, which is crazy. And I love African history, African American history, all of that stuff. So it's super cool. And also, they went there in The Amazing Race. And if they go there in The Amazing Race, I love it. So we went to the Orlando Cooling Towers, which is where they did the fast forward of season 7 in The Amazing Race. And they weren't doing any activities today there, so I couldn't do anything, which is fine. But I got to go and take a picture of them, which is cool, and say I was there. And then Steven and I went to the Nelson Mandela house, which is where he lived. He and Winnie lived there. That's not where he was born. He was born in some place on the coast of Africa that has clicks in it, and I'm not trying to be rude. It does, and I can't pronounce it. So, but he lived there, and then was sent to prison. And then when he got out of prison, he went back and lived there. Oh my gosh, I'm standing in Nelson Mandela's house. That's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't know, if you're not into African history or African American history, or just history of people being segregated by the color of their skin, which is stupid, then you don't understand the importance of that. But, this house was small, and it's in the township, but it's pretty fancy for what it was. And, it's small, and it's got brown stains on the brick up on the top. And that's because petroleum bombs that were thrown at the house. There are bullet holes that were patched at this house, and some bullet holes that were not. And here I am standing there. And it was just fundamental. It was awesome. And then we went back into Johannesburg to meet a friend of mine named Rowan Swartz, who I've only talked to on Instagram for like over a year, and lived in Johannesburg. We never intended to meet on this trip because we never were coming to Johannesburg. But then Steven and I decided, let's do a safari. Let's go to the other side of the country and go to Johannesburg. So we did, and we met for lunch. We've shared fitness advice and laughed about RuPaul, and I've told him about relationships that I had and relationships that ended, and it is just really cool to actually meet somebody in person again, which has happened a couple of times on this trip. We had lunch, and then we decided, time to go. So we left. And actually, there's one more friend here in Johannesburg that I'm going to meet on Friday, which is cool. So we left, and we drove to the other side, right outside Kruger National Park, which is where we're going to go tomorrow. We went to a town called Nelspruit. And the drive all the way out there, most of the way, is just like the Central Plains of Kansas. But then I got pulled over by the South African police, told I was going too fast. So I've had an accident and been pulled over by the police. I'm done with this. And then we drove through this really crazy, curvy and hilly drive, which is super cool, but it got really dark, and there were signs that said, like, warning hippos, and that's just the coolest thing in the whole wide world, until you hit one, which I'm not going to do. And we got here safely, and then we are staying in this place, which is just fantastic. It's an artist cottage, which I'm going to take a video of and post online. Steven's upstairs, because that's where the bedroom is, but I'm staying downstairs on the fold-out bed. And then tomorrow, we just had dinner and we came back. And tomorrow, we do a safari and then stay in Kruger National Park for my birthday. So when I wake up in under 3 hours, which I'm not, excuse me, I'm not waking up in under 3 hours because I need sleep. My legs are swollen. I got burned all over my body. You can't see it in this, but my legs are swollen. I have cankles. It's awful. Not legit cankles. My legs are swollen up. So and been driving. That was a 4-hour drive. So 4 hours when you add the police in. So, yeah, I wake up and I'm going to be 40. It's going to be interesting. But it's a number. So what? We're going to do it in Kruger National Park, and I'm going to spend the night there tomorrow, and then wake up the next day and watch the sunrise. So it's pretty cool. That's about it. Feeling very energetic and excited to do this tomorrow. We're going to get some sleep. We decided not to try to wake up and catch the sunrise in the park. It's still an hour and 20 minutes to get there. So it's not worth it. We need sleep. We'll check the sunrise out the next day. But this is my last day of being 39. In fact, I'll be 39 for another 2 hours and 40 minutes, perhaps. Which, they've been good. The 30s have been good. A lot better than my 20s. I'm happy. I have not thought about the past at all today, except maybe once this morning. I'm still excited about the trip. It's only halfway done. There's so much more to come. And I'm so looking forward to tomorrow and taking lots of pictures of all the animals. Super, super excited. Now I'm going to bed.